Hide your strap-ons, put away your business, and get ready for the ride of your life. It's time for free candy in the van economy. It's time for Two Clueless Dudes.
You know it is! Welcome everybody to an incredible show. We're going to have an incredible guest with us in just a moment. We want to make sure that this is shared to anyone, everyone, and their mom. We want to
Dad.
And dads.
Grandpas.
People that may not even be alive. We want everyone to see it.
Everybody.
Everybody.
This is important.
So important. I can't find it. Can you find it? I found it. I'm sharing right now. Boom. Yes. Because we are live.
Yes, we are.
Well,
Who is you?
I am Mad Mike, a.k.a. Junk McGee, and I'm here with thee.
I'm the Hank, and we make up Two Clueless Dudes.
That's right. Uno el dos. Speaking of number twos, we have a very interesting thing to talk about when it comes to number twos.
Yeah, we do.
But we also have an incredible guest. And before we jump right into this guest, we're going to give people some time to come on because she is incredible.
We're actually very, very fortunate to have her with us.
She's kind of a celebrity.
She is.
She's talked to the Colonel.
She did last night.
Last night. Yes.
We are talking about Miranda.
Miranda Young from
A.K.A. the Ghost Biker of Ghost Biker Explorations.
Yes. And she owns a jail, so if you're naughty,
boom!
She will
locked up.
She'll put you right in there. But she does. We met her at Deadwood.
Yes,
she was incredible there. We could not get her to stop chatting. She was just chatty Cathy all over the place. So we're very excited to have her on. So we're going to bring her on in just a minute. My dudes, Joe, what's going on? So I'm just going to explain a little bit about what we've got going on today.
Do it.
We've got Miranda Young from Ghost Biker Explorations. Yes. She's got a brand new series, and she's doing everything in a brand new way that's never been done before, and it's incredibly exciting. So we're very excited to have her on to talk about that. We have some incredible news stories that we're going to get to that are just almost inconceivable, the things that have transpired here in the world. We've got
Crazy Jay's Best of Craigslist.
Crazy Jay's Best of Craigslist. You heard it here first. We also have a sour edition of Put That in Your Mouth, which I know Miranda is going to be very excited about. We should have just sent her some.
Yes.
Maybe we will. Maybe we'll just mail her some after the fact.
That'd be great.
So she can kind of experience what we will experience. We also have, for Alcoholathon, we're going to be putting together an incredible... Oh, you can't even see that. There you go. So this is a Fireball. A Fireball is known for being incredibly cheap, but kind of tasty.
Spicy.
We also have here the very regal Crown Appel. So we have cinnamon and apple. We're making some Apple Jacks. It's going to be delicious.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm very excited.
You are going to do it, aren't you?
Oh, it's going to happen.
Oh, my goodness.
It has to happen. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and introduce our incredible guest here. Let's get her on. There she is.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourselves?
We are fantastic. John McGee and I are enjoying your new season. We love that you're doing it live, and it's right there in your face.
It is. It's our most interactive season yet, and it's season 6, and it's one of those things where I love doing lives. I used to do a lot of lives back before I started doing my seasons of Ghost Biker, and that worked out really great. And then I sort of started keeping them a little bit secret because I wanted the build up for the season. And so people was constantly asking for lives. And so this year with the second year of the jail, as well as expanding to doing tours at historic rugby now, it really, the time to go in and investigate kind of escaped me a little bit this year. And so as I was thinking about it and planning my season, I thought, what better way to do this than to do it live, because that way it's going to give me the opportunity to really make it interactive and really be able to talk with the friends of the show, and they can actually help me with the investigation. So it was really a no-brainer, and I have been loving every minute of it.
So let's start with the jail. Is it Scott County Jail?
It is. It's historic Scott County Jail.
Historic.
Oh, and
now, when you say, I saw Kitty Butthole.
Kitty.
I saw Kitty Butthole.
That's Sally, our jail cat.
Okay, that's fantastic. That was great. That's going on TikTok later. Okay, so historic Scott County Jail. You've had it now you've been the owner or proprietor for what, 2 years?
Yes, we are the co-owners of it. The town of Huntsville technically owns it. We do lease it from them. We pay the utilities, the taxes, the lease on that. And so we opened in September of 2021. So we've officially been open for 2 years now.
So where is this at? Because there's probably like a million Scots. You know what I mean?
There is. It is actually a very popular county in our state, and then also in the surrounding states.
Okay.
So I am actually located here in East Tennessee, exactly about an hour. That's right, go Vols. And so I'm exactly about an hour north of Knoxville, and right on the Kentucky line. We're not up in. So when you look at the shape of Tennessee, and you've got the point on the end, that's often referred to as Northeast Tennessee.
Okay.
But I'm on the East Tennessee line, and it is technically north. So I always like to clarify that whenever we're talking, because a lot of people think it's over on the other side. But we're right on the Kentucky line, on the middle East Tennessee border.
That's pretty cool. Okay. So
hopefully they got a new jail for the prisoners, and they don't just get to walk around.
They did. So basically in 2008, the fire marshal came in around 5 o'clock on a Friday evening and said that the jail was not fit for humans to stay in. And so they had to gather up all the dispatch, all the deputies and people from, right. And so they put them all together and ended up sending the inmates to other facilities to house them until they got the new jail built. And so we are located in the county seat here in Huntsville, Tennessee, not to be confused with Huntsville, Alabama, which people often do.
Okay.
But so we are
similarities there.
Lots of similarities.
So, okay. So now that we know that the prison isn't being used for actual prisoners, do you offer, like, if somebody wants to come down, before we even get into that, is it haunted?
It's very haunted. It's so we've been open for 2 years now. We've had approximately 125 teams that have come in and investigated from all around the country. I was one of the first people to investigate here in 2014 before they fixed it up, and way before we came in and opened it as a museum. But it is very haunted. We're here, between myself and my business partner, we're here up to 16 hours a day. And we, because we offer daytime tours, nighttime tours, paranormal investigations. People have caught everything from some amazing disembodied voices to things being thrown across the room, doors being slammed, a 7-foot shadow figure, disembodied voices, whistling, disembodied or phantom smells. I mean,
you just
this location.
My ex-girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen that you had with Scott County Jail was, I believe, what you showed in Deadwood, and you have a cat that stays in the jail, correct? And in the
that was crazy.
You'll have to help me. We're at in the jail.
So,
the gift shop.
Okay, on cue, she just jumped up here and crossed again. So we do have a cat here. Her name is Sally, and she was a stray that came. We named her essentially after cellmate. So her name is Sally, and she's been here for about a year and a half. just walked in, made the place home. So she actually lives here. She stays here at night. We do close off the second and third floor, and we close off the gift shop because we don't want her to get on the merchandise. So she pretty much has run of the downstairs floor at night. And it was actually a pretty incredible piece of evidence that we captured. So we do have security cameras up. Obviously for security, but then also for to see, maybe if something strange or unusual happens. And
Well, yeah.
so we are closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And I'd come in on a Wednesday, fed her, and then on Thursday morning, I typically work the night shift, but my business partner was out, so I was actually working a double shift. And when I came in to open the daytime true crime museum, Sally wasn't at the door to meet me. She was actually meowing from the back of the jail. And
Dang.
so when I went in, I thought, I mean, this cat is here in the gift shop. And what's fascinating about this is, so the gift shop was originally it was the former kitchen, and then later on it was a former cell.
Oh, wow.
So it has an extremely heavy iron door on it. The door actually closes its inset where it closes, and so there's no type of give to where she can go in and like pull the door open. Plus, she's
too
like
heavy.
Exactly. Plus, she's a 12-pound cat, and the door is at least 20 pounds.
I'm
And
about a
so
12-pound cat, so I get it.
you totally understand. And so I went in, I opened it up, and of course, I pulled the security camera footage, thinking that maybe as I went in, that maybe I forgot to close the door, or that there was some logical explanation, because that's what we do. We try to debunk things. And when I went in, she was there whenever I left that evening around 1 o'clock. And so I saw her roaming around the jail up until about 11 o'clock at night. And then again, doors still closed in the gift shop, no movement, nothing. And so at 5:12 in the morning, the door opens ever so slightly. And so this door is made to stay closed. It has we have to actually prop it open with a door stop, or it will automatically close. And so it opens up, and then it also, when it hits, it will reverb when it hits and bounce.
Yeah.
Well, it opened once and then opened again, just ever so slightly. And then the third time, you hear a male voice say, "What's in there?" And the door opens like so wide that you can't see the door when it's open. And something actually puts the cat in backwards.
Yeah, you guys see
And
the cat being like shoved in.
yeah. And then she's instantly upset. I mean, anyone who's been to the jail,
Starts, like, meowing right away.
yeah, exactly. And so that's where she stays when we have the paranormal investigations. One of us stays on site. We're on site, but out of sight. We go in there. Nobody knows we're in there. Nobody knows Sally's in there. And she loves it. She doesn't mind it. She'll go in on her own. But she was not happy to be put in there. And it's actually a pretty incredible capture once you start looking at all the pieces together. It's made us want to put a security camera out there in the hall on the outside, just so we can keep an eye on what's and of course, she always likes to be seen.
She has her input.
She does.
Well, there are some people that are happy to know that you are here and that the cat is safe.
Yes.
Susan Purcell says, "Hello, Miranda." Marilyn Bass says, "Hi" to Miranda and Sally.
Hey, Marilyn.
Joe says, "My dudes." So we just wanted to kind of get that caught up. So do you offer, like, let's say we wanted to come, do you offer like overnight, like sleep tours there? Like slumber parties, like we could have pillow fights, do our makeup?
Well, I mean, we do have a ladies' fright, which is a playoff of a ladies' night. So we would love to have two clueless dudes come do a ladies' fright with us.
That would be amazing.
But we do offer a lot of different options for for after dark tours.
Okay.
We have for just the novice that's kind of interested in it, we do have flashlight tours where you can come in, learn the history, and we share the paranormal captures. Also do a little mini session. For those that want a more fully immersive experience but maybe aren't a team, we offer guided ghost hunts, and that's a 3-hour investigation where you can come in and investigate with myself or with my business partner. And then we offer private paranormal investigations that go from 8:30 p.m. to 3 a.m. People do have the option if they want to extend it by an hour or two for just a little bit extra. But we can't actually, I mean, and if somebody wants to sleep, because I like to sleep when I'm investigating if I get the
Yeah.
opportunity.
There's a video
But
of you just
it is, yeah,
wow.
in Brushy Mountain.
You're like drooling.
I was drooling, snoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we would love to let people sleep here, but that would actually change our status where we would have to be lodging at that point. So we technically
Oh,
have to have closed hours. And
gotcha.
being the fact that we open at 11, we actually used to open a little bit earlier, but because our after dark tours got so big, we have to sleep ourselves. And
Yeah.
so we're open from 11 to 4 during the day with our true crime museum. And then from 4 to 7, we have escape rooms where you can come in and escape from the jail. And then we also, and then starting, depending on the time of year, at either 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock, we either have those tours or we have the investigation. So we, by law,
Randy, you
with
can
our
sleep when
insurance,
you're
we have to
dead.
a few hours. That's what I always say, unless there's some kind of annoying ghost hunter that wants to, talk my ear off.
That's true. You probably get a lot of that though, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm learning this as we're kind of dipping our toes in. And I'm glad you kind of verified too, because when you said flashlight, I thought you meant like just the tip. That's what I thought you meant, but I'm glad you elaborated on that, what that tour actually was. So thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely. Anything I can do to help.
So let's go from the jail and let's go to your new series. So you've done this is your third season, right?
This is my 6th season.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Your
we're
sixth
on our
season.
third
We're on our
season.
third. I got you. So you're on your 6th. So your first 5 were done like pre-recorded. You edited the footage together, kind of put stuff together. This time you're like, screw that. We're gonna go live. So what steps did you have to take equipment wise? Because a lot of these places that I don't think people understand. There's internet's not really like a thing in some of these places in Kentucky. When we went to South Dakota, Deadwood, so this is stuff where you kind of have to, okay, well, I can't just walk in there, film, and then come back and chop it up because I'm doing it live. So what steps did you have to take to try to make that transition, or are you still learning?
Well, I'm definitely still learning. So let me just clarify. We do have, I am a solo investigator. I either investigate by myself or I investigate with my camera person. And so, because I really like, and plus, since I'm on my motorcycle, I like to keep my equipment simple and keep everything. So I'm really doing a lot of planning from the get-go. Yeah, absolutely. And so,
keep that equipment simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so every season for the last 5 years have at least had one live episode.
Okay.
There was 2 seasons where I did a live season finale. And the way I originally looked at it was they're great because obviously, you want something to happen, but it's okay if it doesn't, because it's all about the experience and it's about being there in the moment and making it interactive.
Well,
and so I've just been
history in these places too that you can talk about.
There is. And so I always pick places that have an interesting enough history or interesting enough story that if we don't capture activity, it's really just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And so, when we capture it, it works out great. Plus, we all get to experience it for the first time together. So it was a little bit different this season because obviously I can't do anything simple or easy. I've got to add complexity to it.
Absolutely.
these other locations that I did. So I did a live season finale from here at the jail. It's a 3-story building. I mean, it's rather simple. You're contained in this one structure.
Right.
Season 1, I did a live from this other house, and we were all in this same area. But this season, I'm highlighting all either haunted villages, haunted homesteads, or heritage museums. And the majority of these are located in multiple buildings within properties that are very large. And
It's getting
so
some steps in, is what you're saying.
my Fitbit is screaming when the night is over that I've reached my 10,000. But it just makes it a little more complex, because a lot of these locations, in order to do a proper live, I broadcast both on YouTube and on Facebook.
Yeah.
And this
Like
year
right now.
I had to have a different platform because I wanted to do it at the same time. In the past, I either chose Facebook or YouTube, or I split it and did 1 hour each. So I had to make sure that the internet service is good. I've had to pull in, instead of my camera person going in and just following me around, they're part of the live. They're acting as moderator. The first night, we realized we needed to add another person to the mix. That way, they could actually moderate on the computer in case we lose service, and they could pull it in, and it could make it a more seamless process. And then really just the setup of it, because I'm limiting myself essentially to 2 hours. Well, an investigation is not like TV. Things truly don't happen in the first 30 seconds that you're there.
Right. Yeah.
Usually.
It takes time.
Sometimes it does, but not usually. And so, I'm really learning that I either need to, I like to pre-set up, but I tried something a little different last night. I really wanted to make it even more interactive for the folks watching. And since I had more people helping me, I truly wanted it to be their investigation, that I was essentially acting as a medium, if you will, to go in there with the tools and do what they wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
actually impressive how many tools that you actually have.
yes,
We saw that you have at least 2 tripwires, maybe 3. Is that right?
2.
2?
Yes.
Okay. We saw the Ovulus. We saw.
He called it an Oculus, and I got really confused. I just want to point that out.
I did. I don't know why I called it an Oculus, but it was dead set in my head that it was
It's
an
called
Oculus. And then he's like, "You say Oculus?" And I was like, "No, it's Ovulus." Whatever.
Obviously.
Couple letters out of place, no big deal. But you have so much stuff that you bring with you. It's actually very
You got the
impressive.
spirit box. You got the REM pods. You had the
Well-
dowsing rods.
Yeah, multiple spirit boxes. It's one of those things, you never know what you're going to encounter at these locations. And some of these locations, especially the ones that have been investigated a lot, the spirits are really familiar with a lot of the tools. Now, when it comes to
What up, Brandon
these-
Cooper?
hey Brandon, these locations that that I'm visiting this season, these are all locations that have either never been investigated or have been investigated, I would say probably less than 10 to 15 times.
Okay.
And so a lot of these spirits, they may not be used to how we're communicating with them. If you're
True.
asking them to touch a light, their familiarity with it may be a candle, and you're not supposed to touch that. Or they may not be able to see color, and we're asking them to, hey, touch the green light and make it go to red. We don't know if they can see color. And so and plus we're getting a lot of equipment drain and everything. So they're going to communicate in one of the most basic and familiar ways that they know how, which a lot of the time is through sound, manipulating audio waves. So I like to create an environment that gives them the opportunity not only to use the tools they may be familiar with, like the dowsing rods, or create other options to where if they can learn that and get familiarized with it, they can communicate in different ways, whereas they're touching things and
Maryland's some cold spots.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, so that's been another challenge that we've had this season, just because these places have not been overly investigated, and we are there for a very short period of time, and so you just got your fingers crossed that at least even if it's subtle, that we'll be able to translate that experience into our videos.
That's cool.
Yeah. Another exciting thing is when you go live, it's not just the end of the investigation when you turn off the
No.
record button.
Exactly.
After the live, you continue. And
I
you
do.
continue to get evidence and
More footage and
Yeah. So, again, like I said, never like to do anything simple. But my thought on this was, so people are used to me doing these pre-produced episodes, and they're actually, people tend to think I have a larger team than what I have. That it's not just me and one other person, and so. So with this, I wanted to
I
actually
thought you
be
meant
able to.
size wise. I thought you were
Oh,
talking about Brandon Cooper.
hey,
Yeah.
you've met me. I mean, I'm like 6'8", so, but yes,
You're a big lady. You are.
I am. I
Yeah,
am.
tall.
I
Taller
trace
than
my
me.
lineage back to the Amazon tribe, and so, but anyways, so basically with this, I wanted to create more content, and so it wasn't just a one and done type thing. And a lot of the time on these live episodes that I've done in past seasons, I've always downloaded the footage, gone back and put in like kind of condensed it down and put in captions and re-released it.
That's cool.
So with this, what I'm doing is I'm taking the interactivity a little step further. And so on Thursday nights, I go live and we kind of break down what happened during the live. I
There's a Q&A.
encourage people, I encourage people to watch it and to look back and see if they hear or see anything that I may have missed. Send me those timestamps. And so after the investigation technically ends, I do investigate for a couple more hours.
How much are the timestamps? Because they're getting out of control.
the U.S. government is ridiculous right
Yeah,
now.
those post offices.
Unless you have the
Oh.
freedom ones that the price, they're good for, I think they're called the freedom stamps.
Brandon Cooper, me too, buddy. Me too. He said he's little, but he's got much back.
So we like to go in and we'll take that footage, we'll take the extra that we've investigated, we'll condense the live down. We'll also do shout outs to the people who have sent in the timestamps. We'll have those captioned out there. And then those episodes are actually going to end up being pre-produced episodes where it'll be just like my season. If anyone has watched it, they know that the first 5 to 10 minutes is me telling the story. And so I will tell the story of the location I'm at. I'll flash back to the live. I'll do shout outs to the folks who are there. And then I'll re-release or release unreleased or unseen footage that came from the other investigations. So it's going to create a more rich experience and more content.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So I'm going to ask you about the museum here in just a second. But anybody that's familiar with Ghost Biker Explorations, and even some that may not, you have a bike. You wear leather jackets, all that jazz. So I just want to know what's going on here. What's going on right here? Can everybody see that? Look at that.
It's the beautiful Miranda.
That's like a model.
Well, thank you. That was actually, I was looking to do some promo shots, do something just a little bit different.
Very cool.
I did a shoot with this was all actually done on the same day. I did a shoot with the bike and then with the dress.
With you propped up on the bike?
There's none of those together. Maybe I need to do a shoot with the dress and the bike.
Yeah, see, now you're talking.
Either way there you go. I'll give you 100% of the credit.
Okay, so on to you just did a museum. Where was this museum located? It was in Kentucky. I remember that.
Yes. So for our second episode, which was last night, I actually just got back at around 3 o'clock this morning from the Heritage Hills Entertainment Center, which is also the museum there. It's in London, Kentucky,
That's
and
London, Kentucky.
yes, this place is really cool because it's got a lot of heritage pieces from all around London. And London is great because there's so much. There's, Colonel Harlan Sanders is from there. The first Colonel Sanders was there. You've got the Wildcat battle that took place, Wildcat battlefield that took place during the Civil War. So the Home Guard is out of there. They do a great reenactment. Then you do have Cumberland Falls in the area. And then there's a lot of different businesses that are located there in the area that I had no idea that this area was such an industrious area.
Yeah, and
And
a lot of people know that there's a lot more to Tennessee than just meth and moonshine.
absolutely,
And Kentucky, too.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, people don't
It
know.
is.
Don't know.
The Wilderness Road goes through
Thank
that
you.
area with Levi Jackson Mountain Life Center. We did investigate that last year as part of a fundraising event. And that entire area there in London with Wildcat Battlefield and all that was actually very important to the development of that area of Kentucky.
And it's going to be
So,
surprisingly active due to all the
yes.
the wars and the museum.
And Kentucky has such a crazy history, anyways, because you've got the Appalachian Kentucky Triangle that's located there. The show Hellier is based out of Kentucky there, and
Kelly
I
just
mean
said it's the anniversary of the largest Indian massacre was October 2nd.
that's correct.
And
That's correct.
Kim Horn says, "What up, Miranda Young?"
Hey Kim, yeah, Kelly. I mean, she has such a wealth of knowledge. She is there with the Tourism Commission, and please correct me, Kelly, if I'm wrong on or left anything out from your beautiful area. But yeah, that place they had the largest Indian massacre, and we got to investigate that last year, and that was really wild. Just we were out there with the SLS and just being on that property, the energy was just insane.
Well,
So
there's got to be a lot of just anger, resentment, rage, fuel. I mean, that's got to be
It's gonna be a heavy place.
heavy place.
yeah. Yeah. But we had some light activity there in the church that was inside. Some pretty incredible things happening just to let us know that these spirits that we're interacting with, they're very intelligent and very aware of what's going on. That's probably my favorite part. I mean, honestly, I like being scared. I like being creeped out, and it takes a whole lot to creep me out. But when you get this activity that you can validate and that you can see that the only explanation is that these spirits are there and they can see you. I mean, it just excites me to no end because
Yeah.
I have no explanation for certain things that we capture other than the fact that they are there and they are aware.
To them, it's like, for all we know, it could be, just like us looking through a TV. It could be the same for them. They can see us. They're aware of all the advancements. It's just their ability to interact is limited. That's all.
Yeah, and we experience it here at the jail. I've experienced it on many investigations where you can tell that there are several spirits there and those spirits are not aware of each other. They're on different it's like they're on different planes, or maybe they're not even really aware of what the investigators are doing. They're there, they're going about their lives, and that has its own interest and intrigue anyways. But when you can get the ones that are actually interacting with you, I mean, to me, those are the ones that it's just like, wow, what are we experiencing here other than the fact that they can see us and they
It's
know
like,
what
this
we're
is
doing?
why I do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A piece of equipment that you like more than another, like watching Mike do the Estes method in Deadwood. Like anytime you're like, does anybody have anything that they would like us to try? I'm always like, yeah, Estes method.
Estes is one of my favorites. I mean, because any time to go into that sensory deprived state. I mean, and you can control for your environment. I mean, that's one of my favorites. But I would have to say, so I've got several tools. I do like the EDI Plus box, which basically it's like a science box basically, and so it gives temperature in real time. It shows hot and cold spikes. It also shows spikes in pressure as well as humidity. And one thing personally I've noticed is when that pressure button starts going off, a lot of the time things happen. Disembodied voices, EVPs. It has, for me, I've noticed it has something to do with a pressure change. And I also like this because it's got a data recorder in it, and it will record these data changes as long as you have the record button going. It will actually graph it out throughout the entirety of when the box is on. And so it also has a geofoam in it, which detects vibration. And then it has a K2 meter that detects EMF spikes.
Wow.
So I always keep this box with me because to me, I think the atmospheric changes and the measurements play a lot in what we're experiencing. And so it's great when flashlights go off. It's great when these other tools react. But when you've also got atmospheric changes going on and you can correlate and have the different pieces of equipment together, to me, that's worth its weight in gold. And so I like that device because I can measure all of that in real time. And then honestly, I really like my dowsing rods because they're simple.
Yeah, it's like my favorite.
Yeah, I like them because you don't have to worry about the battery drain. A lot of the spirits are familiar. I mean, they're so simplistic. And so if you're asking yes and no questions, it's not like you're asking them to touch something that they may not understand. And then also showing the different directions. Like I like to use them to say I'm in a room and there's a piano. I like to say, hey, can you point to the piano? They're moving it. And then also they're identifying an object intelligently. So I would have to say that those two items are my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
But you can't go wrong with the tripwire.
It was weird using those because when I came back, I had to tell my wife that a spirit touched my rod. But it was cool. I got over it. So episode two, you go into the museum. I'm going to take this shot, our Applejack. Here's a toast to the Deadwood Brothel. Did you see Ben Stiller? Was he running around that night at the museum?
At the museum? No. And I spent a lot of time looking for him. And honestly, do you not like it?
Whoa! Ronnie, hello. That works so well for me, says Kim Moran.
Honestly, what
did you experience when you, because we watched it, but it's hard because we're not there. So what all did you experience that was your big takeaway from that episode?
I really feel like, honestly, so this location had only ever been investigated. Hey, we're giving a sneak peek.
That's right.
And so, because I'm actually going to replay some of that evidence. So my takeaway from this location, so this location has only ever been investigated one time, and it was actually just a very simple, almost like a paranormal 101 type investigation that took place there. So it was essentially a virgin investigation. And so my takeaway from that is this location has a lot of potential. Was it throwing things off the wall and moving things and lots of crazy just in your face activity? No, it wasn't. But I do believe a lot of that is because the spirits were they were a little bit bombarded with all of us that were there. And we were asking them to do things. And honestly, we were communicating with them. They're probably not used to people communicating with them. So, so I really found that I think this location has, has a lot of potential. And I'm really looking forward to going back and seeing if I'm able to take some of the things that I gathered from this investigation and really ask further questions to see if I can pull more activity in. I'm also looking forward to watching the Estes method because we did a double Estes method.
You did.
And if people aren't familiar with the Estes, which we've talked about it several times tonight, basically, briefly, you're going into a sensory deprived state with noise canceling headphones. You're blindfolded and you're listening
plug
to
in your
either
butthole.
basically anything you can plug.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there and like either using the spirit box or using like some type of some people use an ovilus. Some people also use like necrophonics, but you're using a word bank. We chose to use the SB7. And so both myself and my friend Tiffany plugged in. We went into complete different building or rooms there inside the building. And that's something that's really important. I hate to see people doing Estes methods when they're side by side because you do run the risk, even if you're wearing noise canceling headphones, of people hearing it. So Tiffany was over in the auditorium. I was in the museum. And then Christy was actually there in the foyer there, or the entryway of the building. Tiffany had the door closed. I was back in behind the double doors in the
And she
museum.
could hear both of you?
Actually, Christy was not able to hear either of us. We thought she would be able to hear our responses. So she actually didn't hear our responses. Now, she was reading the questions that the audience was putting out there. She was probably asking some of her own. So we didn't know what questions were going to be asked. Also, Kelly was sitting there with the ovilus. And so it's interesting because based on my conversation that I had with Kelly, the things that I was saying and the things that were coming up on the ovilus, and Kelly could hear all the questions and all the comments.
Kelly could hear all three.
Yeah, Kelly could. Now, Christy, who was asking the questions, she could not hear anything.
Yeah.
And so
Susan said the Estes method was fun to watch. Marilyn wanted to try a triple Estes method.
Yes.
Scott Horn says new locations are so much fun to investigate, and also says hello to Selly. And Kelly also says it was really cool how everything connected.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back and watch. And actually, like I said, I was really surprised Christy couldn't hear either of us, which I think adds an extra special element to it as well, because she was not able to, since she did not hear what we were saying, she was not able to ask leading questions from what, like, say I said a name or something.
No addendums to it.
Exactly. She only knew what the people in the comments section were asking. So I'm really excited to go back and review that and see how that went. So we did that. We also did a double dowsing rod session. I think that may have been a little too much for the spirits because we were hoping that maybe they would react the same way on both sets of rods, but they didn't. And so I think it may have been kind of more confusing for them.
A bit much.
Yeah, I think so. But I actually want to go back. One of the things I like to do with my dowsing rods is actually do the dowsing rods blindfolded, go into that sensory deprived state, kind of like you do with the Estes method, and ask different questions with the rods. And then that way it takes me as a human element out of it because I'm not seeing, I'm not hearing, and the rods are just reacting.
Well, I'm not big on seances, but I would come down with a fancy mustache and a chicken to see if we can get a hold of the Colonel.
Hey, why not? Why not?
You know what I mean? He had some cool buckets there. The organ was from his wife. Is that right?
Yes.
So
very cool.
I mean, we got to know what the 11 herbs and spices are. Nobody knows. We could ask. This is our chance, our moment.
See, I think that would be actually really cool. Let's do it. And I'm like you, I'm not into seances, but I would definitely do a seance to see if we could figure out the 11 herbs and spices.
We need to. And if we can figure that out, good Julianaires. I'm telling you.
Maybe putting KFC.
That's right. We could open up TFC, Tennessee Fried Chicken.
That's right.
Oh goodness.
It'll be delicious. So, tell me about can you tell me anything about the next location?
The next location is going to be in South
Hi,
Carolina.
Don. Good evening.
I don't quite want to give away the location, but it is a rather large location. It does span a lot of acreage, if you will.
Oh, okay.
It does fall under that haunted village, haunted museum. The one last night, it was contained into one building, which did make that a little bit easier after our first investigation there at Historic Rugby. But this one is, like I said, it's in South Carolina, and it's going to fall under that haunted village theme.
Very cool.
Marilyn says sometimes they just kind of run out of energy, so it's hard for them, especially towards the end. Kelly is trying to get permission for the Sanders Cafe Museum.
Yes.
We have a good evening from Dawn. Good evening, Dawn. Let's see here. And apparently Scott and Kim Horn are working on a little something that's on a down row. That's a new type of experimentation that could come out soon. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool.
The Banana Finder 3000.
The Banana Finder 3000. We've already talked to Scott about it. It's going to happen, buddy. We're making the Banana Finder 3000. It's gonna blow everybody away when it's ready. Just you wait. So this place you're going. So are we talking like?
She
So
can't
are we
tell you,
talking
bro.
like?
She can't tell you.
Well, I just want to know, like, historically, are we talking battles?
Well, it is the
Brandon, it's
South.
okay if
There's
you want to just tell him just to watch next
Yeah.
week and find
I was
out.
going to say, it is the South.
Oh.
I mean, you can't hardly throw a stone on a property that's not had some type of battle, whether it be Civil War, whether it be Native, whether there's always some type of little battle going on.
You actually have one of the coolest, I'll say it right, coolest quotes that I've heard, and I'll butcher it if I try it. But
Mike,
it's like,
don't touch that.
Your wife does tell you that
all the time.
It's about every town has
A story.
Story.
Right?
yes.
Yeah. We always say it in the intro, and I've got it on one of my shirts. But yeah, every town has a story that's been passed down through the generations, and we always say, what if those legends were true? And so that's been our goal here with Ghost Biker Explorations, is to travel to these locations, explore them, and see if we're able to figure out the mystery that lies within. And that's why I pick a lot of the locations that I do. I mean, I am a commercial location owner, so I definitely love it when people go to these commercial locations, because the paranormal investigators are what keeps our doors open. The True Crime Museum and the history tours are fantastic, but if we relied on that, we would be closed within the first year. And so,
Like they say, crime doesn't pay.
That's right. That's right. It really doesn't. And so,
Yeah.
and so it's, for us, going to these locations, I get a lot of my stories of locations from, like, you'll see the books that says like say, for instance, haunted Chattanooga, and it will talk about the different legends and lore and stuff in the books. I also have a lot of people who contact me because how many areas do you have that's got a crybaby bridge, or that has, the lady in white that's seen in, this area and that area.
One of those in Queen Mary.
Exactly. There's always a lady in white, and there's always an Al Capone in some building. I mean, he's like in 50 million locations.
Same thing with Elvis.
Exactly. So,
I really do want to check out Elvis, though, at Westgate.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Hey.
We should have a whole event around it. That should be a whole event. We're going to work on it. Continue.
Let's work on that. But you have all these different stories that's maybe very, very well known in a specific region. And so I'll have people reach out to me and say, hey, you need to go and check this out. And so I love traveling to those places and really putting those stories out there. Like one in particular that I covered that was one of my absolute favorites was the story of the Phantom Monk in Charleston, Tennessee. Now, a lot of people have
Okay.
not heard of Charleston, Tennessee, but if you've watched my episodes, I always cover the history and I always talk about history of the town that I'm in because I want to try, as a biker, I want to try to encourage people to travel to these areas and check out these places. So, Charleston, Tennessee is the home of Fort Cass, which was the start of the Trail of Tears. It was also the home of there was, Civil War skirmish that was fought in that area, and a lot of different, local legends and lore just about that area. And so I covered those. But the reason I was there was to cover the story of the monk who had perished in a train wreck during the late 1860s. And so there was a major flood in the area that flooded everything from north of Chattanooga, Tennessee, which would have been the Charleston area, and on down past Chattanooga into Georgia. And so the train derails. There's a lot of casualties. A lot of the homes were used as makeshift hospitals.
Like
And then the
triage.
depot was the depot was even used as a makeshift morgue. And so I
And
found
was it
the
more of like a
area,
home?
the depot.
Yeah.
No, it was the train
Like a Home
depot.
Depot?
You should have known that was coming.
No. And so anyway, so it was used more as a funeral home, or excuse me, as a makeshift morgue at the time. So I found the area that I believed that the part of the train wreck had occurred, and I did just simple spirit box session, rod session, just a simple session there at this spot. And so I also had the story continues that not only was there all these casualties with this train wreck, but one of the casualties was a monk who had been traveling from Maryland down to New Orleans.
Like a Tibetan type monk? Like what do you mean by monk?
Like probably a Catholic church monk, I
Like a
would
Catholic
say.
monk? Okay.
Yeah.
So like spoke English. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to
So
clarify that because in my mind, when I think monk, I think "Waka!" So I just
nope.
want to make sure.
No, and so he's traveling down, and he perishes in the train wreck. And so the story goes that the doctor allegedly took the monk's body to his tub, or to a tub there in his house, dissolved the skin from the bones, and used the bones in his medical practice. At that time, a medical practice was not legit if they didn't have a real skeleton.
And this
And
is the monk
so
bone.
yeah, exactly. So he thought he used the monk because he thought that the monk wouldn't have family to look for him. I mean, he
Because he's
was
a monk. It
passed
makes sense.
anyways. He was passed anyways, and so the story goes that after the doctor took, he kind of went on sabbatical because there was a lot of casualties with this, and a lot of the ones that did survive, he had a lot of work that he did. And so he took a sabbatical. When he came back to his office, there was this brand new skeleton hanging in there. And so he continued to practice. After he left his practice, another doctor came into the doctor's office and was getting some very strange activity. He was seeing a shadow cloaked figure in there. He would hear the sound of what sounded like rosary beads clicking together.
Oh wow.
And the story goes that when they tore the building down, now again, this is a big local legend that's known throughout East Tennessee and North Georgia, North Carolina. A lot of people know this story. But when the office was torn down, they said that they found a monk's garb in the wall.
Whoa.
Now, a lot of this is alleged, but I did end up getting access to somebody who had actually purchased a tub from that time period from the doctor's estate sale. It was an old clawfoot tub, and it had been stored in a home that was basically being used for storage. It was a 1970s split level house, and the lady who owned it, she was elderly. She had rented the house out at one point in time, and then she had her home and just was using it as storage.
Wow.
So she gave us
And
keys.
alleged doesn't necessarily mean it's not true. I mean,
Right.
OJ's an alleged murder.
Exactly.
So,
And so, so inside the home, we went in there. We were able to get access to not only investigate the train wreck site, but to also go in and investigate the alleged tub. And
and that's the
so,
that's the tub that you think that the monk was in.
very possible. We don't know. It came from the doctor's estate sale.
Whoa,
And
that's pretty wild.
so
There's a good chance.
it's, I mean, very possible. It is right around that time period.
Wow.
And so, so anyways, we do this investigation and we end up getting a lot of activity. We were getting a lot of activity from the home, and we didn't know if the activity was coming from the tub or if it was coming from the home itself. And so we did a little mini investigation, talked to the homeowner. She had had activity in the home. This leads into episode 3, 4, and 5 of season 1, and also
Check it
5
out.
and 6 in episode 2, all the way to the conclusion. But my
And
point
they can
being,
find it on YouTube.
yes, YouTube and Facebook. And you can go back and watch all 5 of the seasons, and then also the new seasons are episodes that are coming out every Tuesday. But what's really fantastic about this one is that it was a local legend that was local to that area that I was traveling to. And I was able to share the history of the town of Charleston, as well as this legend that's been written about in books, and see if we were able to get any type of activity. And so those are the places that I really like to cover. And so even if we don't get activity from it, or if we're not able to validate it, just traveling to these areas, touching the bridges that, people, Crybaby Bridge or whatever, or being in Lizzie Borden house and being immersed with this history, that's something for me that's invaluable, and just the personal experience itself. Again, the paranormal activity is just the icing on the cake.
Right. Kim Moran says you visit the most amazing places.
Thank you, Kim.
Joe, she says after we were talking about the
monk.
decomposing of the monk. Kim Horn says shows all the cool things that you've got going on, and she's got to she's got to come visit. You got to go.
Yeah. That's what's so
good.
great about this area. I mean, there's just so much to see and do. And, and like I said, this season is really special to me, not just because it's live, but it's given me the opportunity, because these locations, they've got different events that are going on for Halloween. They've got different daytime events that are going on. And so it's giving us an opportunity to really promote that and put it out there to an audience that may have never heard of the Heritage Hills Museum, or maybe hasn't heard of historic Rugby Village. And so,
I want to see Colonel Sanders' organ. I had no clue. I didn't know.
To be honest, when we saw the Sanders
buckets,
we were like, are we watching what we're supposed to be watching? Like,
this is crazy.
Like Colonel Sanders? Like, what's going on?
The Colonel Sanders?
That's why I'm saying you never know. I mean, who knows? We might we might find out who braids Wendy's pigtails next time. You never know.
It's true. Dave is dead.
Dave Thomas. Yeah. And he's Memphis, Tennessee area, I think.
He's hanging out with Elvis.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into, you mentioned Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
This is for you. This is for everyone that's on. Do you truly believe that All Hallows Eve truly lends something to the paranormal?
I mean, yeah, I do. I to a point. I mean, doing what I do,
I've enjoying your interview, by the way.
Thank you, Linda. Doing what I do and doing it every day. I mean, I never. I spent 21 years in corporate as a marketing executive, and I never would have really thought that my job would consist of doing this, every day. Or cleaning a prison toilet every day. But, I do believe, things happen all the time, day or night, completely year round. But one thing I have noticed for me personally is that I get a lot more activity in the colder months and when the temperature is colder. Yeah. And so, I personally think this time of year, I do think that the veil is thinner. And when you start looking at um, different atmospheric readings and such, they are very different. And one of the things that I do when I release each of my episodes, I do put the moon phase, I put the temperature, I put the amount of people who were there, the temperature inside the building, outside of the building. So, I do think all of that, as far as Halloween itself, no, I don't think here we've not experienced any more activity on Halloween for that specific date as, the day before, but anniversaries of different events that happened, some of the lynchings and stuff that
You
happened
feel
here
like
at the
that
jail.
carries more?
It does carry more. We noticed that. So I've been keeping a record when teams come here. Not all teams report things that they find, but just based on people that some will come in and tell me minute by minute when they capture things because they want to find out more information about names and stuff that they've got.
Sure.
If it's raining, it doesn't have to necessarily be storming. Now, storms do tend to charge things here, but rain itself tends to create more activity here at the
Well,
jail just from
obviously
the
learned
information
that
I've logged.
water's like a conductor.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Marilyn had talked about that. Marilyn does believe there's some type of correlation with All Hallows Eve. And Ronnie believes that the colder month theory that you're talking about is pretty legitimate. And there's definitely something to that.
The only place I've found that not to be the case is because there's been places that are just well-known hotspots. Now, obviously, they don't act on command, and you don't know when things are going to happen, and maybe they don't even want to talk to me that particular night. But I have noticed that it does tend to do a little bit more when it's colder. The only place is the exception is when I've investigated down in Florida, when they really don't have
Yeah.
a change in seasons, at least not as drastic as what we have. I did not notice. I had a lot of activity, and it was so hot at the locations I was doing. So, I mean, for me, I've investigated Hell's Bar Dam when it was 29 degrees, and that's in the middle, and it's flooded in the middle. So you've got water coming into the dam. You're essentially there in the water when it's 29 degrees, and the activity was insane. And I investigated it multiple times in the summertime, and the activity was very limited. So
Interesting.
just for myself, and I see Ronnie's comment talking about Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. When I was down in Louisiana, I was down there when it was colder, actually. So if it can be cold, it was actually pretty cold. It was in the 40s that trip.
Well,
Yeah.
It's hot everywhere I go. So no, we went to Deadwood. It happened to be like a harvest moon or a full moon, and there was a lot of activity. Like
Yes.
way more than what I was, kind of expecting or kind of ready to walk into. So that was really cool to kind of be able to just put our flood boots on and just feel it.
Absolutely. It was a very active weekend. And that's one of the things too. Like I said, we keep track of the moon phases. The moon does tend to play a lot in it here, but like I said, for us, I've found the weather to be even more so here at the jail than the moon. But yeah, that past weekend that we were all there in Deadwood, some of the reports that were coming out of the investigations was really wild. And even just from the cemetery tour that we did, there was some interesting reports as well.
So in the prison itself, I would assume like the moon probably wouldn't have a big play because I assume it was all male, so they're probably used to moons.
Actually, there was both. This was a male and female jail. Yeah.
Well, way to go. Way to just be, ahead of your time. That's fantastic. Snowstorms in the hills also affects the spirit's activity, not just rain and thunderstorms. And Kim says the brothel was insane. And it was. My pants kept trying to fall off, and I actually had a zipper fly off of my pants into my hand. I also got drugged to a bed, which I could not lay on because it was a fake bed. But it was pretty wild. And we have we're still trying to get our SLS footage. We're trying to pull it off of our tablet right now, but I have SLS footage in their parlor of a person dancing a jig,
Oh, that's cool.
like a legit jig. I mean, it's amazing. And it was probably the mustache that did it. Yes, you were right. Yeah.
I mean, that mustache was pretty epic.
It was really nice, and I kept changing them throughout the night because they kept falling off. But I brought a plenty. I brought tons. So, Virginia City. So we have an event coming up in Virginia City. Are you planning on attending that?
What is your dates on it?
That's really none of your business. So,
It's November 9th, I believe. For the
I believe that is when I am at the hotel. I'm drawing a blank. It's a hotel in Kentucky in Northwest
okay. So another episode.
Not so much another episode. It's going to be an event that's called Harleys and Harlots, and it's like a mystery dinner. Do what?
You gonna show them that picture?
Oh, absolutely. Any opportunity I get. No, Virginia City is somewhere I've always wanted to investigate, and I've heard that the activity between Deadwood, Virginia City, and Tombstone is just comparable to nowhere else. I mean, because just the stories of lawlessness and everything that comes out of those areas.
And
so
in
I hope to.
1873, people don't know, but Virginia City at some point had almost 35,000 people in it.
Yeah.
And then overnight, gone.
Yeah.
So, and I think right now they actually have a population of like 740.
That sounds like a lot of areas here. When we had our coal and timber boom, those places were booming towns. I mean, they had 2, 3, 5,000 people that lived in them. And now those are the places you go through. You don't even know you're going through them if you blink and you miss the sign. There's no signs of any of the industry that was originally there. And most of that is coming from the coal and timber boom here, because as it moved on to other places. Yeah. And that's one of the other things I really like to get out there with Ghost Biker is the fact that, most of these places, I always tell people that, if you take your hand and touch anywhere on a map, you're going to find somewhere that's got an amazing history or an interesting story. And if you just go and really dive in and research and talk to some of the old timers in the area, there's not a place that you're going to go that doesn't have an interesting or fascinating story that's worth telling and also investigating.
All right. Last question.
So true.
Dream place that you would love to just immerse yourself in.
So there's not just one place for me.
Okay.
I love roads. I love the travel and the trip. And so I would have to say taking off down Route 66 and then just hitting these places along the way that's got some of the most amazing stories and legends attached to them.
Didn't James Dean die on Route 66?
What was that?
Didn't James Dean die on Route 66?
I have no idea.
He was in a car accident. I thought it was on Route 66, but I don't.
I'm not 100% sure on that. But, there's so many of those roads, like I mentioned with Kelly, the Wilderness Road, the Natchez Trace, the Mississippi Blues Trail, the Pacific Coast Highway. All of these iconic roads have got all these little towns and all these little spots that they may not even be there anymore, but they're places that would make amazing stops. And so I wouldn't want to go spend one night in one spot, but I'd like to take a week, a month, however long, hit these places, even if I'm just investigating them for an hour. That would be a dream to me, chronicling that and then
Route 60, the Chronicles of Route 66.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I would watch that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
You never know. We're looking for a Ghost Biker season 7. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I can't ride a motorcycle, but I've got a pretty cool scooter.
Hey, come on. Bring that Vespa.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, it's a Razor scooter.
Oh, okay.
But it is electric and it goes like 50 miles an hour. That's pretty cool.
It's true.
And
2 wheels, as long as the knees are in the breeze, it doesn't matter.
That's right. Knees are in the breeze and the balls are to the wall. Go ahead and plug yourself one last time for everybody that is watching the show. We have a lot of listeners. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes. And so first off, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's watched and commented. Really, really, and truly appreciate that. Also to the ones that have shared out my show and helped get these visitors on here each week to watch. You can watch the show live or any of the past episodes on Ghost Biker Explorations YouTube channel, Ghost Biker Explorations Facebook page, or www.ghostbikerexplorations.com. You can also follow along in pictures on Instagram under Runaway Vixen. And then if you are interested in following any of the stuff that we're doing here at the jail, you can follow that by going to Historic Scott County Jail Historic Scott County Jail Facebook page, historicscottcojail.com, or Historic Rugby After Dark.
That's so cool. It's been a pleasure having you on our show. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Of course. And Miranda, more importantly, and most importantly, stay classy.
Take care.
And that
Thank you to Miranda.
was Miranda
That was
Young.
awesome.
She's got some incredible stories. I think she travels so much and she sees so much that I feel like you could probably throw a dart at the United States and she would have like a really awesome story to tell you.
I bet so. I bet so. Make sure that you go check her out. She's fantastic. Like I said, she just started a new season 6. It's live.
Thank you, Marilyn. It was a great
So
interview.
much fun. Check it out.
That was fantastic. Now that we have concluded that part, we've got that done. We've had our alcohol-a-thon. We're going to get that going one more time. I think we need to put that in our mouths.
Let's do it.
I think that's what needs to happen.
Boom,
So
boom.
this is a sour edition, so I don't know what these are going to taste like. I have no idea how sour these are going to be. We could be in for an absolute world of hurt. So if you really, truly want to see somebody in pain, this could be your episode. All right.
It's so true. A lot of the times that we do this, I feel like he does this out of spite or out
On
of,
purpose.
because he don't like me or something.
First
You know
off,
what? Last week's Nitro Cola was actually just a flat Pepsi. It was
It
actually
really
pretty
was.
decent. I don't know what to expect with this. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know.
Boy.
Okay, I've got blue raspberry. Okay, so these are called toxic waste. Okay. Oh, that's really bright. Let me see if I can get it up past the light. Maybe. Nope. Nope. Maybe. There it is. Toxic waste is what these are called. Toxic waste. Hazardously sour candy. It says on here, not for children under 3 years. Okay.
So if they're 2.5, they're going to die.
They could just right then and there. Let's see here. So the goal is to try to keep it in your mouth for 60 seconds. All right. What flavor did you get? You got some type of red flavor.
Black cherry.
Black cherry. I've got blue raspberry. It's like kind of like it's a hard candy. I wasn't expecting that. A cheers. All right, here we go. And then we got this sour soda. It turns out Warheads mixed with soda. When we all doing chitlins? Oh God.
This is terrible.
It tastes
This
like
is what I'm telling you guys.
it tastes like seawater.
This is the part of our friendship that I don't understand a whole lot. It's not the friendliest part
Help
of
me.
friendship.
Help me, Tom Cruise!
Oh, it's bad.
Help me, Jesus!
I don't know if I can keep it.
I do not know if it's safe. And yes, Ronnie, that ride would be dope. Okay, babe. It was super sour. But now it's sweet.
You know, it's sweet.
That's
I
weird.
think we made it through.
I think we did. Okay. So we have sour cherry, sour watermelon, sour blue raspberry,
That sounds terrible.
Sour lemon.
That's gonna be terrible.
That's gonna be bad. And then sour a green apple. Now I will let you choose the one that you wish to partake in.
I get to choose my fate.
You get to choose it.
Well, I'm having the black cherry, and that tastes.
This is Warheads. Which one are you gonna do?
I have black cherry in my mouth, so maybe you can have that one. So you just cheated.
Well, it's just like a hard candy now. I don't want to accidentally choke on it while I'm doing the show. All right, so which one do you want me to do?
I'll do the Heimlich, but I'm not giving you mouth to mouth.
Okay, as long as you do a Heimlich, you're gonna do that one.
I'll do the watermelon.
Which one do you want me to do? Which one do you guys want me to do? Hello, Michelle.
How about the lemon?
Lemon, yeah, that's got to be awful.
All the shit you put me through, you can at least get lemon.
Lemon. My light is so bright. It's a lemon. Oh. Let's see if I can actually. There you go. Lemon Warheads. I don't even know if I'm trying. I'm trying not to show you my bald spot either. All right, so lemon it is. Okay. I'm 40. What do you want? Okay. To Miranda Young.
To Miranda Young.
And her sexy ghost stories of KFC.
Well, it's not bad. That's good.
Damn. Excuse me.
That's good. I mean, it's not good, but I mean, it's like
that's
compared
actually
to like the piece of shit I just put in my mouth. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty doable. Okay. Wow. Woo. Okay. With that, let's get some Craigslist. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let me get to. All right, so we have some great stuff. Kind of tell them how many do we have?
We got 5 of them.
Buy me some time. Talk more than that.
All right. So, Ronnie, I know you're listening. I really wish you could have a sip of this Warhead sour watermelon soda.
Is this one mine?
Yeah, that's yours today.
Do you want some?
Absolutely.
We're gonna do this again. Only I'm gonna up my game. We're gonna do that. Little fireball, little crown apple. But wait, that's not all. I'm gonna add in a splash of this lemon soda.
Why not?
Because why not? That's gonna be
Now we got some watermelon and apple.
horrifying, I'm sure. Cheers to you.
Here's to you.
God, that's awful.
That's the worst shot I ever had in my life.
Oh man.
Put that in your mouth.
Oh, Jesus. We do it for you, so you don't have to.
Don't do it.
Oh God, that was rough.
My eyes are watering. Don't do it.
That was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let me just go ahead and close a bunch of this stuff. Whew. Golly. Boom. Okay. Here we go. You guys ready? God. Man. Whew.
Don't do it.
That was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty rough. So the fireball mixed with, so that's the cinnamon mixed with crown apple. That's pretty good. That's like an Apple Jacks. Okay, that's pretty tasty. With the sour soda, it was truly horrifying. You walk it off. I'm gonna have to.
We ain't got no place to walk to. We're going to sit it off.
This is it. All right, so here we go. Welcome to Craigslist. Crazy J, this one's for you, buddy.
All right.
Woo!
So just in case you want to put your sexy ass on a nice, clean couch, I did my research. I found you a pink couch for free, maybe a little dirty. It says no rips or damage.
Boom.
Toddler used. Hopefully that's not all from a toddler.
Toddler used? The fuck does that mean?
Needs cleaning or a cover. I think it needs Jesus. But hey, who am I? I got you a couch. Anybody that's interested?
Ed and Lorraine Warren. It needs an exorcism.
Yeah, I think that thing needs help.
I like how it's like, oh, look, it's a couch, but you can't really sit on it, so get something else to sit on. Like, cover it up because it's so terrible that we don't even want it, but you want it. Is it free? How much do they want for this thing?
It's definitely for free.
It's got to be for free, dude. It's got to be for free. If
I
that's
only
not for
do
free,
the free. I only do the free.
I mean, what? Like, look at what's going on in the corner there.
I would say somebody that worked in the mines just came and sat their ass on the edge of the arm. Boom.
It looks like, man, it's like somebody just kind of rubbed their asshole right on the edge there.
That's a very craterous butthole.
That's
huge.
Incredible. And look at this. There's like a weird stain that kind of looks like a penis. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe
oh my
a
God,
gecko.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, if you see it, it's on the.
Marilyn, what did you do?
What did you do, Marilyn? Is this another one of your intuitive touch paintings? Naughty bird. Okay, so let's go.
All right,
Let's go on to the next. Okay, hold on. Let me tell you. Nope, that's not it. Is that it? Okay. What do we get? Free. Go ahead. I don't know.
Okay. So here we have free bag of toilet paper and paper towel rolls. You know what? I just thought it was important. I figured somebody's going to need to do arts and crafts with their 5-year-old or maybe their 15-year-old or maybe their 25-year-old.
Do you happen to know where this is?
You know what? This is from Tumwater.
What? Where? Because I got to look it up now.
I have no idea, but.
All right, everybody. Grab your Google Maps. Where is Tumwater? Tumwater? Boy, it sounds.
What?
Sounds perverted.
I just had to put this in here because
Washington.
I think about somebody who hoards or holds on to stuff and
who finishes wiping their ass and goes, "Oh, I'm saving this."
That's my point. Who are you?
That's weird. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. We have bunnies. Arts and crafts. Oh, Becky with a zing. That was good. That's super valuable enrichment items for animals. Michelle, you are correct. I say we have bunnies. We would probably give some of that to the bunnies. But, I mean, this is not like...
This is a whole bag.
Yeah, this isn't like a roll. This isn't like one tube. This person's been wiping their ass for a decade.
And wants to share it with you.
And saving it.
At least it's free. No charge.
She says zookeepers straight up hoard this stuff. Why are you just give it?
Just take a dump and throw the trash in the trash can.
Or take the roll and give it. I mean, why collect? Just
true.
Poop,
just get rid of it.
Poop, tube, deliver.
Yeah. Basically, you just got to let it go. Let it go.
Poop, tube, deliver. It's that simple, folks.
All right.
Oh, you could bot people. That's true. All right.
That's true. It's great. It's great discipline tools for the dogs.
Okay, next.
All right. So the next thing we have is saw chips. I thought this was fantastic. All right. Some poor guy, construction worker, building stuff for his buddies, building a house, building whatever in the hell. The only thing I can think of is Quack. What's McQuack that used to swim in the gold?
Yeah, McDuck.
Yeah, McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck.
But like, you could just do that here. You could just swim around in your own wood chips.
It does say saw chips.
Yeah, free saw chips.
In Spanaway? Is that the name of the town?
Spanaway, yeah.
All right. Google mapping it.
So I just found this was interesting.
Saw chips. I mean, let's not like a little
obviously,
bit of saw
this
chips.
guy doesn't live in an HOA because there's no way you're going to have a mountain of saw chips.
It's also in Washington.
In your front yard, backyard, or otherwise.
In a couple of hours, you could have all the saw chips your heart desires with a bag full of toilet paper tubes.
All right, next one.
Boom.
Now, the next one I find extremely, extremely interesting. I had
Animal
to put it
bedding.
on there.
Well, here's the thing, though. It would be, but it's so. It's so like micronized that it could actually be hazardous. I would be worried. Look how fit that is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
So
look at how happy that kid is.
My fourth one tonight.
He's like, hey,
is an ovulation kit. Now, again, free on Craigslist. Not like you wouldn't go out and buy your own if you were really in the need. But you know what? If you don't have any money and you want to know if you're ovulating, I got you.
If you don't have any money and you want to know if you're ovulating, the answer is it doesn't matter. You probably shouldn't have kids. If you're looking on Craigslist for an ovulation kit, you might be a redneck. Okay.
There you go. All right. Last one.
That's mind-blowing. Okay.
And last but not least, in the event that you plan to break a leg, put out a hip, whatever the case may be, I have you tall crutches straight out of Shoreline. If you look carefully, though, you're going to have to fix the handle because it's off a little bit. You don't want to use that without making sure that they're both on the same level.
Yeah.
It's a little off.
Oh, it is a little off. Oh, it is.
But what do you expect? It's free.
That's true. Somebody got one monkey arm.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Isn't it weird how like the things that go in your armpits just look like gray Twinkies?
It's true.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do.
It's really true. All right, that's the best of Craigslist.
I like it. I love it. All right, I got some interesting stories to share with y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and share them with y'all. First and foremost, those are good finds.
Yeah.
Those were good finds. Definitely not mad at those. Definitely not mad at those. Those were pretty good. Okay, so now.
And the crutches were if you plan to break a hip or something. Not if you've already done it. If you anticipate the need of breaking a leg or a hip, got you.
Okay. Let's see if I can. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's see. How do I? What do I? Okay, here we go. I can hit it back. Okay, here we go, guys. Now I've got some viral videos to show you that are just going to. Woo! Well, you'll see. You'll see. You'll understand momentarily. You ready?
Bounces based off the floor like a basketball.
Like an absolute basketball.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that not fantastic? All right.
I wonder how many teeth he knocked out.
All of the teeth. Every of the teeth.
Ah.
All right.
So my girlfriend just got me these cutesy
I want everyone's
little
input on this.
salt and pepper shakers that say "You're the salt to my pepper," and I was getting ready to put the salt in them because that's what you use them for. But then I realized that I don't know which one to put the salt in because this one says "You're the salt," and if these two shakers are talking to each other, which is kind of the vibe I get from this whole thing, this one is saying "You're the salt," and then this one goes "to my pepper." So this one's saying that it's not the salt, and this one's saying that it is the pepper. So are they both pepper? Because I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody else, but like, is this one supposed to be a mixture of salt and pepper? Because this one's saying it has salt in it, or is it just it says the word salt on it, so I put salt in it. This says pepper on it. I have no idea what's going on.
I believe
So my girlfriend.
This is I understand his struggle. I get it. I get the struggle to that because that is really confusing. What would you do in that instance?
Well, if you're the salt, obviously he's the pepper then. And you put the.
But it says you're my salt to my pepper. So it says you're the salt, and then this you say to my pepper. So you are both the salt and the pepper, and I am nothing.
I believe you.
So what do you do?
You know, I would just recommend going to the Walmart and buying a
brand new
shaker,
just a brand new
and
set,
a pepper shaker,
and just never. I wouldn't even touch those anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to put salt in it. They even come with salt these days.
I would probably only put that out during the holidays, and I'd probably just fill them both with MSG and tell no one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Screw it. Or cocaine.
Yeah, it's going to be a great Thanksgiving.
It's going to be a great Thanksgiving. What's in that? Cocaine? It's going to be great. You're going to love it. It's going to love my cocaine. It's cocaine. Oh, my. Okay, here you go. You ready for the next one?
I got haircut today. Y'all aren't ready. It's about to look so good. Guys, I'm going to get a haircut. I'm so excited. I'm gonna look so good.
Nice. Sorry.
So excited. Let's get it.
Cuz just going to military?
Oh my god.
Better go get a fresh cut. Yes, sir.
They don't look fresh, cuz.
A haircut today. Y'all aren't ready. It's about to look so good.
Dude, so good. Oh my god. Those just killed me.
Yikes.
Those just killed me.
That's why I wear a hat. I don't have to worry about it. Never.
Wow.
Bad hair day, hat.
I'm not gonna lie, those were pretty fun.
Screwed up hair, hat.
Okay, let's get to some news.
News, mother lover.
There's only one. Look, there's two news stories I want to talk about. One has to do with a woman in January pooping at Disneyland. But she didn't poop in a bathroom at Disneyland. She pooped behind like a concrete like slab at Disneyland. She pooped on the walkway and got filmed doing it. And then in September, another woman got caught pooping in a bush in Epcot.
It's just a thing.
Why are you pooping in a bush?
I don't know. I find it very interesting because I also have a poop story. I don't know if there's a two clueless dudes poop,
Poopathon
thing going on or
maybe
or what, but yeah.
All right, so lay it on me.
Oh, you want me to go?
Mm-hmm. I need to know the poop story.
Box of giraffe poo seized at airport after woman wanted to use it to make a necklace. U.S. Customs and Border Protection said a person could have contracted a disease from the unusual jewelry and developed serious health issues.
Yeah.
A box of giraffe poo has been seized by customs agents at the U.S. airport after a woman tried to bring in the feces into the country to make a necklace.
An entire box, folks.
The woman had declared the small box of poo when she was selected to have her belongings inspected upon arriving at the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport in Minnesota on 29 September. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol Protection said...
So this is recent.
Yeah, I only bring you the newest stuff. She told officials she picked up the poo on a trip to Kenya and brought it back to her luggage for a necklace. The woman from Iowa, go Iowa.
Were they like, can you take this poo?
Kenya?
Kenya?
The woman from Iowa said she had previously made a necklace with moose feces.
What the
Giraffe poo can be brought into the U.S. with the proper permits and inspections, according to the Minnesota Public Radio. The station reported that the woman will not face sanctions because she did declare the feces and gave it to customs officials. The agency's agriculture specialist destroyed the giraffe poo.
How do you destroy? You can't step on it.
You just smashed it. I don't know. I guess you catch it on fire. African swine fever, classical swine fever, Newcastle disease, foot and mouth disease, and swine vascular disease are among the ailments in Kenya that custom officials have cited as risks.
That is some fancy shit.
So, leave your poo at home. Don't bring it home.
The actual
The poopy. The actual like
bit
the nugget
of this entire story is the fact that she is a serial poop taker.
Moose poop, giraffe poop. I mean, this woman loves poop.
Do we know her name, and do we know how to get a hold of some of her jewelry? For science.
I don't want any of her jewelry, and no, fortunately, it didn't list her name.
Damn.
But she's from Iowa.
Damn. All right, you got another news story?
That's it.
I liked it. That was pretty dang good. That was a dang good news story.
Giraffe poo. Who would have thunk it?
So before we go, we're almost out of here. We got one more thing that I'd like to show you guys, and it's kind of in two pieces because the file was too big for me to kind of put all in once. But I want to give you a little bit of a taste of what we went through in Deadwood. And because it was pretty cool. It was pretty incredible. So this here is going to be kind of a summation of our Deadwood trip. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you one more time. And I'm going to take it away. Most people, when they check out a hotel, turns out it was playing the whole time. In fact, yes, we do this. Hello, this is Junks McGee, Two Coolest Dudes. Most people, when they check into a hotel, they use a card to go beep boop. So this right here is an actual key for all you young people.
While we were recording this, Miranda did walk by us.
Yeah, she
probably was wondering.
And then, but that's not all. You actually have to turn the key. Listen to this. Wow. You hear that?
That's
and the
safety.
door just opens.
That's safety.
That's safe. Wow.
Ed. So we just made it in. We are in Deadwood, South Dakota, at the Bullock Hotel. And this room is absolutely...
I just wanted to show the room.
I know.
This knucklehead wants that looks like straight death.
That bed had
We're gonna piss some
no
ghosts
you.
off.
The Wild Bill, Henry Kane, and so many other people were there. Orion. Number 10 salon, where Wild Bill lost his life.
If you want one of these, we will try to post a link on our Facebook.
I got it. I already got it right here. I'm going to take care of it.
You gotta get one of these. They're amazing. Work. That's mine. All the media, yeah. Incredible. Things rock.
The Hank, how's it been going?
This is crazy.
So tell us about what have you experienced so far?
So this rim pod went off a
Yes.
couple different times. Once in the closet of the warehouse.
It did, and on the bed.
And it went off on the bed.
Yes.
And that's pretty exciting
Yep.
because I was skeptical.
Some tried to take my pants off.
Yeah.
And broke my zipper.
And broke his zipper.
It's pretty wild.
People don't believe you, but that shit
What
really
do
happened.
you
You really
now
did.
we're on our way
lose
to
it.
the Fairmont. Now the Fairmont's supposed to be the one that's scary. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We did some crazy fun, but I can't explain it. Michelle knows that one. That's Phil with our SLS.
Why did I have the SLS?
I just handed it to you.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't use it all night. Must have.
Must have.
Gotta hold it for
This is in the
a couple
Fairmont.
seconds.
This is supposed to be the most active room. We didn't pick anything up, but
There's
Do you
supposed to
want
be a
to chop
vortex
some broccoli?
in the Fairmont, and it was very active.
yeah, we do have some SLS footage from that. Actually.
Right.
Oh yeah. Who you gotta call?
And we got a little bit more, but we're working to get that for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I did put it. I did put it into turbo mode. Hold on, let me stop this guy. Against me. It's come alive. Oh no, never mind. Thank you, ladies. And Miranda has that incredible quote, but I want you to know that I'm also wearing a very incredible quote. I know the shirt is super tight. It's because it's super old and I got it in the wrong size. But it's from Julius Caesar, 44 BC. And it says, what are you going to do? You're going to stab me? Let's see, no, what are you going to do? Stab me? It's pretty good. And Phil just put the link in for Horn Paranormal. If you're interested in any type of equipment or gear, you want to do your own research at home and then send it in to us so we could kind of talk about it, look at it. We would love to do that with you. Go to hornparanormal.com if you are interested in a painting where Marilyn, an incredible psychic medium, basically thinks about you as a whole and creates art with you in her mind, then you want to go to intuitivetouchworld.com. She also has art by Marilyn if you're looking for something that maybe she's done but doesn't have specifically to do with you. Also, we always recommend if you're in the donating mood, if you're in the giving mood, please visit sacredmountainretreat.org.
It's fantastic. They take care of their veterans. They take care of the first responders, law enforcement, fire, EMS, active military, anybody that's had any kind of trauma. They bring you in for 7 days, no cost to you. So it's a fantastic, fantastic program. And we ask that if you can give, please do. You don't have to just be in the Deadwood, South Dakota area. You can be anywhere in the U.S. and they will get you straight to them.
Also, we are on TikTok now. Two Clueless Dudes.
Woo!
Please find us. Please follow us. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers because the second we do, we can start going live on TikTok, which is something that we really want to do.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Friday, you'll probably see us popping up on lives on Friday because we will be doing content for our Renaissance Fair that is taking place here in Las Vegas. We have media passes, so we're very excited to do that. The next thing we've got after that, we've talked about doing like a little trip out to Area 51.
Dun, dun, dun.
And maybe what we'll do is we'll do a little live out there if we have any type of reception, and we're going to see if we can communicate with some aliens
And not get arrested.
Or shot.
Or shot.
Yeah,
because they will shoot you if you get past a certain point in Area 51.
Legit, they will shoot you. After that, November 9th through the 12th,
you can catch us in Virginia City, Nevada.
We are doing a paranormal investigation. The Horn Paranormal will be there. Shane Pittman from The Searchers will be there, which is incredible. If you've not heard of The Searchers, please YouTube that motherfucker because they're just fantastic. Shane is incredibly knowledgeable, especially when it comes to equipment and arthritis. The guy's number one. You can't beat him. Okay. On top of that, I think that's pretty much our Patreon. I will fix it to where it says Patreon. I know it's misspelled. My bad. We'll be up and running shortly. We're working on some things to where not only will you get incredible Two Coolest Dudes exclusive content, not only will you get incredible paranormal content from us, we're working on some incredible mashups to where you are going to get so much more bang for your buck because it's important to us that you feel like we're better than Netflix.
Obviously.
I mean, that's what we want. We want you to go, Netflix. I watched the TCD, bro. You got TCD? Know what I'm saying? So please, hornparanormal.com, or is that .kizzle? I'm not sure. We'll figure that out as we go. Oh, and then next year we are in talks with Michelle with Gypsy Witch Paranormal coming up. We have nothing else.
Yeah, I don't think we got nothing coming up.
That's it.
Nothing else.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. That's it. I'm done. I'm drained.
We got nothing.
Nothing. Oh, we do plan on doing a trip to Colorado Springs. There was 115 bodies found in a mortuary, a mortuary, but in the building. It was supposed to be this green mortuary. They don't use embalming techniques. They don't use metal coffins. It was supposed to be like down to earth green. I think the name was like Down to Earth or something like that. Mortuary. Well, they had 115 bodies just rotting inside the building, and they just left them. So I would love to go down and kind of take a peek at that place. Also, next year, I'm telling you right now, we're going to be back in Deadwood.
I hope so. I really hope that Sacred Mountain does the Spirits of Deadwood again.
They will, and we're going to be back bigger.
Such an awesome event.
Yes,
so much activity, so much fun. We met such great people there. I think we got lifelong friends now that we met in Deadwood, and we hope to keep that going.
Stanley Hotel, yeah, we would love to see that too. But yes, we definitely want to do that. Bigger, better than ever. Yeah, we definitely want to come back to Deadwood, and our hope is that we can, through Patreon, thanks to Patreon, bring one of you with us.
Woo! That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. So a lot of cool things in the works. It's awesome. We're very excited. Phil just finally learned how to tuck and tape, so that's something else we got to look forward to. Thank you all. We're going to sign out at this point. I appreciate everyone who's watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. Please visit all these incredible websites. Please check out Ghost Biker Explorations. She's going to have her Q&A on Thursday right off of Facebook. You can only find her off of Facebook or YouTube. And then her new shows come out every Tuesday at time. And it's incredible.
I think it's 6, actually.
It might be 6. Okay, there you go. Good night, guys.
All right, have a good one. Thank you for watching. Live life happy.
And in breath work. Or don't out.